Hi and welcome to the Geek Legion of Doom. This is a B-movie review. I'll be having a look at the movie 12 Days of Terror. So sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. So this is the true story of a series of shark attacks that happened in 1916 that a lot of people believe were the inspiration to Peter Benchley's Jaws. So this is a dramatization of the actual events that actually happened in the summer of 1916, and it is basically tells us the tale of four lethal shark attacks and one non-lethal attack that happened over that summer. So you have to understand, in 1916 there really hadn't been any sort of shark attacks on the sort of the coast of the US, so people were pretty much unaware of it, and the kind of craze of going into the sea was only just sort of starting. So what you have the story focuses on a lifeguard called Alex, who basically is the sort of, for this particular dramatization, is the sort of central character, and he's a lifeguard basically. And the first attack is a guy in the water, basically of a good family. He's having a swim and everything. Has the first shark attack and is killed. At this point, no one really believes it's a shark, except they think it might even be a German U-boat, because obviously World War I's going on around at this time. Everyone apart from Alex, who thinks maybe it was a shark attack, but the officials of the town don't want to sort of scare anyone. Very much like Jaws, really. So they sort of don't. They think it's going to be an isolated incident. If it was a shark attack, it will never happen again. A short time later, there's a second attack, and a lifeguard is killed. And this time, people are starting to really understand that there's something wrong here. There's a shark in the water. It's a sort of hysteria. It hits the US basically, and then what happens is that the actual on the 12th day, the shark actually goes inland up a creek, then kills two people in the creek, a young boy and the best friend of the central character Alex, and actually wounds another young lad as well. And then really the story is the climax of the story is the sort of the actual capturing and of the actual shark, with the kind of like Alex and this kind of big game hunter type person who sort of introduced in the second half of this film. So long and short of it, that's the story. There's quite a lot of like melodrama and that sort of thing with this. It's a made-for-TV movie, so they kind of have to sort of pump up the character development, obviously, because realistically, there wasn't kind of this central, but the central character really that was kind of linked to all the sort of shark attacks. They were pretty much unrelated in regards to who they actually were, but they kind of thread together this kind of like semi-fictional story where they've kind of it is based on true events, but they've kind of made it a little bit more made for TV by having a sort of bit more romance in there, and a sort of central character who sort of links all the attacks really. But more or less, it's a true story. So this being a made for TV movie, it's pretty decent. It's obviously set in 1916, and I've got to say the actual authentic feel of that sort of time period is very good. It looks fantastic. I think they've done a great job of getting that sort of that feel. Basically, it looks really fantastic. The costumes and the hairstyles, everything looks really great. To be honest though, it's a decent film, and I don't think the shark attacks were the particularly most exciting shark attacks ever captured on film. You have to factor in the budget. Realistically, with this film, I would say it's a good shark film, but it's unspectacular is the best way I can describe it. It's pretty damn decent in regards to it's a watchable film. The characters are interesting, and the fact that it's based on a true story makes it all that sort of more interesting. Especially obviously when the sharks sort of going up the creek and more inland, because no one was expecting that. The central character Alex, as I say, he's sort of really the protagonist, if you like. Looks like a very young Tom Cruise, so the ladies will like that. But it's a solid movie, if not particularly spectacular, but certainly worth a watch if you're a shark fan. The special effects on the shark may be a little bit choppy sometimes, I have to say. They kind of use a mixture of real footage from sharks and the sort of some sort of obviously sort of rubberized models and a little bit of CGI. So the shark attacks themselves, I guess, look on a little bit of the sort of. I think they could have been filmed a little bit better to be a little bit more sort of suspenseful and a little bit more fun. And there's a couple of like mild sort of like jumps and stuff like that. But I think maybe they could have maybe sharpened that off a little bit. But to be fair, it's a pretty decent film. I think if you're a shark movie fan, and I certainly am, if you've noticed, I've reviewed quite a few shark films on here. But this was certainly one of the better ones of the lower budget sort of scale films. So I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. Decent, solid movie. Likeable characters, and obviously it's really interesting. Obviously, that it is based on a true story, and and it's a well made film for its budget. 7 out of 10. Go check it out. I look forward to seeing you next time. See you later.